But it's not the job of a government to ask forgiveness for its own people. The job of a government is to protect its people. Now, if the people want to come together and hold a big rally and say, collectively, we are choosing to forgive you, whether that's, Iran. I mean, just imagine in our own country, I've often thought about this, what would happen if, there's all this talk of reparations in the United States, that, reparations for slavery, even though the people who would be receiving the reparations did not suffer under slavery. The people who would be paying the reparations did not propagate slavery or have anything to do with it. So, from a political standpoint, this is kind of an idiotic thing. But what if instead of demanding reparations, former, descendants of slaves all across America, and that, by the way, incidentally, would not only include black people, people of African descent. There were many people that were slaves that were not of African descent, but actually some of my relatives were slaves from Ireland. But what if they, instead of demanding reparations, came together and held a big rally and said, we collectively extend forgiveness to the people who enslaved us. We're going to forgive, and we're going to move past this. We're going to move on. Just imagine how healthy and how wonderful that would be for our country.
Why is it that white folks support anti-blackness, racism, and white supremacist culture in so many goddamn fucking ways? Why is it that we support it through our silence, our defensiveness, our denial, that code of silence? Let's not talk about it. Let's ignore it. All that fucking gymnastics, that defensiveness, the fucking anger, the passive aggressiveness, the stereotyping, the overt, covert racist, all the shit that we do, the gaslighting, all that fucking shit that we do as white people. Why can't we just leave black people the fuck alone? Why? Because we were taught that shit. It's our culture. White supremacist culture is American culture. It's European culture. We see ourselves as overseers. We ourselves as entitled to control and judge black people. White Americans wanted, back in the day, we demanded black people be segregated, right? So we segregated. Black people said, okay, great. We're going to make our own shit. They started doing great. What did we do? We fucking burned their communities down to the ground. And you got to sit in your fucking silence? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Every single one of you that can't talk about it, that spews fucking racist narratives, stereotypes, denial, gaslight. That's not their reality. Telling black people what the fuck they should think, feel, do better. Reject your fucking training, your indoctrination. Question your own goddamn morality racially for once in your fucking life. I'm tired. I'm tired of what my people have done, what they continue to do. I'm fucking sick of it. I'm tired of seeing people suffer. I'm tired of the fucking inequality. And you ought to give a fuck too. White folks tend to take credit for everything except their own damn racism. Yeah, it's a cultural thing. It's what we do best. Nothing scares a white person more than a simple, honest conversation about race. And believe me, I know this to be true. You can even look at how many white people are following me on my social media. Where are they? They have scattered like little white cockroaches. They just disappeared. The very few white people that follow me on social media, they're out there. Thank God there's a few of them that have learned and grown over the years and that are in fellowship with me. And it's a good thing, in spirit, in this fight for racial justice. But it's just amazing. All you got to do is look at, and my message is for white people, but look at how many white people are actually in my social media, commenting, following, active. Very, very few. It's the same way in my life. I have lost, God, so many close and dear white friends and family. When I say family, I'm talking about close family members that that we don't speak anymore. Same thing with my good friends that I've lost. Kids, white friends, dear white friends I grew up with all throughout elementary, middle school, high school, white friends that I worked with in the past. They will not speak to me. I reach out to them, they ghost me. So it's incredible when you have an open and honest, you can just, I have a challenge. I dare any of you guys just to go out to your white friends, okay? And just have a simple, open, honest conversation about race. They can't do it. White people can't have an open, honest, 90% of them cannot do it, because we're colonizers. We just don't have the capacity to have an open conversation about race, because if we do that, then we're acknowledging that we're racist. Then we're acknowledging that we're dirty and foul. And most white people don't have the capacity to do that. They've been taught to think of white people as pure and good and great and angelic and honest and, moral and outstanding citizens. Bullshit. Most white people are fucking racist. And if they're not overtly racist, they're covertly racist by their silence, their compliance, their complacency, their apathy. Yeah, you might use the N-word, but you could give a fuck about what happens to your brown, black, and indigenous brothers and sisters. You don't give a fuck. Most white people, I could dare to say, don't even know who Emmett Till is. Don't even know who Tamir Rice is. Most white people today, ask them who Emmett Till is. Ask them who, they know who Martin Luther King is. Yeah, that's the one person they know. And most of them will be threatened by a person like Malcolm X, but ask them who Trayvon is, who Tamir Rice is, who Ahmaud Arbery is. Ask them, Sandra Bland. Ask them. Most white people don't even fucking know. That's the God's truth. They don't even fucking know because they don't fucking care. So I challenge you, and write in the comments any experience you've had with white people in the past, good or positive, about conversations with race. Because go up to a white person and, a friend or a family member and just say, hey, don't you think black people deserve reparations? Watch the verbal gymnastics. Watch the, well, yes, or hell no, or, well, yes, but, all fucking day long. You talk about race, to a white person, it's, well, yes, but, for example, just simply make one statement like this. Say that, black people are not racist and not supremacists. White people are, however, but black and brown people are not. Indigenous people are not. Say that to a white person and see what happens when you say that white people are racist and white supremacists. Then tell them why. Because we're colonizers. Because racism is part of our culture. In order to colonize, as colonizers, we used racism to justify stealing, pillaging, raping, all that shit that we did. White men and white women. Pillaging, raping, colonizing, stealing, all that shit that we did. Lynching, all that shit that we do today as colonizers. To black people and brown people and indigenous people. That incredible amount of apathy that we spew daily, that complacency racially of not caring about humanity of other people unless they happen to be white. That's why nobody knows those names. Ask your white friends who Emmett Till is. Ask your white friends who Tamir Rice is. Ask them. Tell me what they say. Have those conversations. I guarantee you most of them cannot have a simple conversation. And it's incredibly frustrating for me. So I want to challenge you guys. Write in the comments your experiences if you want to take the challenge. If you feel like it, I appreciate it. And I want to get this conversation started and see what happens.